Hey Stampers, it's the Pampered Stamper, and I promised you that I would show you a video on Brusho. This is a new product. Well, it's not that new. It was in the spring, the occasions catalog, and now it's in the annual catalog. And honestly, it's fantastic. If you ever just want to de-stress and play and play and play, then Brusho is for you. So this is the card that we did at Coffee and a Card yesterday. And this is the card I did afterwards because I wanted to see what it would look like with a blue background. And the blue is representative of the sky and the yellow is the sunlight filtering through. That's my artistic interpretation. So I'm going to show you how I did this, okay? So I had some questions. So the first thing with Brusho is that you're using water. So I take my old grid paper and I fold it in 4 so that it's a nice thickness. Then I have a piece of watercolor paper and it's 3 by 4. You are going to spritz it and you'll see a few little dots of red on there. I must have had a little Brusho on my hands. So I'm going to start with gamboge and you'll see that I have a thumbtack or a push pin in there. You poke a hole in the lid and then you always, always, always seal it up because little poofs of powder will come out. So you just tap it gently. And you can see it interacting with the water. And then always put the push pin back in right away. I'm going to add a little bit of red because I love the vibrant reds in the fall. And a little goes a long way. And then, okay, put the little thing back in. Then we're going to give it a little spritz. Oh, that was a lot. All right, now you can move the water around, if you like, to do some things. And if you have extra water, then you can use, I always forget, you use the Kleenex, and you can soak up the extra. It's a nice, easy way to get rid of that extra water. Okay, now, I don't like this look here, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Oops, that was too much. What I should have done there is I should have taken the spritzer bottle and gone a little bit away from it and made a lighter mist instead of such a strong one. I'm going to add a little bit of red here. And I don't think, I'm not going to add any more water there because I like the look of that dot, those dots there. So now you just want to let that dry, okay? You can speed up the process with your heat gun, but it does sometimes soften the colors a little bit. So we're just going to leave that and put it away. Now, I had done another video and then I got interrupted. So this is the one I was doing in that first video, and I'm going to use it. So, oh, look what I forgot to do. Oh my goodness, see? I don't always do what I tell you to do. So, and then this one, it's wet again, but I can just put that in the sun, it'll dry, I can use it again. So your grid paper goes a long ways. So here's the Stamparatus, and I'm going to use this set here, Kindness and Compassion. I absolutely love it. Such a beautiful font, so many nice words. Now, it is a rubber stamp. I'm going to use Sincerest Condolences. So what that means is that we don't need, here, I'll put this under there. We don't need this black mat, okay? But I think we're going to do it like this. No. And I always have to think about placing it so that the words are away from the hinge. Oh, guess what? It's a bit too long. I have to come up with a better word. Okay, we're going to make this a thank you card. The condolences is too big. All right, Plan B. And I don't put the stickers on anymore because I find that it sticks way better without. So this is a thank you. And then you just go like this. And then here's another trick. I know there's grid lines on the Stamparatus, but they're very light and hard to see. So what I do is I take a piece of scrap grid paper and I put it on here. And then we're going to stamp it. And now Stampin' Up! Actually sells these pieces and they're already cut. And that's way easier. So I'm going to order some of those. So I stamp it on here to see how straight it is. And see, it's going up a little bit. So the U part has to go down. So I'm just going to adjust that slightly. And I'm going to turn my grid paper. See, you can tell I've used it a few times already, but that's okay. And then we're going to see again to see if it's better this time. Now, my paper's buckling a little bit, but that looks pretty good, so I'm going to just go for that. And the nice thing about the Stamparatus is that you can stamp again and again to get a nice dark image. And watercolor paper is pretty tough to stamp on because it's kind of bumpy. It's got a rough surface, so sometimes you need to stamp more than once. See, that's nice. It's very nice, but I want it just a little bit darker. So we're going to do it again. It's nice and tight in the corner. Oh yeah, that's beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so I will turn this into a card later on. So this piece was 3 inches by 4 inches. My black mat is going to be, well, you know what, I'll do it. My black mat is 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. So here we go. And I stocked up on Fast Fuse because it was on the clearance rack. So it's my favorite adhesive. It's so nice and strong. There we go. And that pop of black is just so lovely. Okay, and I had a few leaves left over. Look at this. The leaves are from Colorful Season. Like that, and like that, and maybe a little one here. We'll pop it up. Okay, so we'll put it, I was going to put it on an old olive card because that's what I did the first time, but I think it might be nicer on a black card. So I will show you this later on, but I will show you the trick with these leaves. So Brusho also works very well on our shimmer white paper. Now take a look at the shimmer white paper. See something wrong with it? It's got some circles cut out of it. Shimmer white paper is expensive. It's about $1 a sheet. So you don't want to waste it. You want to use every little bit of it, right? So what I did was you spritz it. And then I used yellow. There. And gamboge. And then we're going to go in for some red. Ooh. You can see this is pretty intense, but I want it to be intense. And give it another spritz. See how nice that is? Doesn't that just remind you of a forest floor? It's buckling a little bit, so you can, if you don't mind getting dirty, just shove it down a little. That's okay. And I'm going to add, oh, look at me, look at me. I forgot to put my push pins back in. I'm going to add a little bit more yellow. See, what the fun of it is that you can keep adding and playing. You can spritz more water, you can dry it, then you can add more color. So there's lots of room for experimentation. Okay, I'm going to give it one more little spritz. Okay, so then what I did, you let that dry. And when you dry it with the heat gun, dry the top and then also do the bottom and it'll flatten right out. Then I used the leaf framelits from Colorful Season to cut out a bunch of leaves. And then you get a leaf that actually looks like with lots of color. And there's even some white spots in there. So I hope you found this little tutorial on Brusho helpful. I absolutely adore this stuff. And now let's take a look. Here's the other piece that we just did. See how nice that is? Yeah. Okay, happy Brusho buying. If you live in Canada, you can go over to the pamperedstamper.com and click on Shop Now and go and make yourself happy. All right, have a super day. Bye.